Hey guys, what's going on? It's me, Williampierre, here back in another video, and welcome back to another review. Today, I'm going to be reviewing the Soul Fruit. I hope you guys enjoy. Right, so, starting off, the Soul Fruit is a natural type fruit, or in the One Piece world, a paramecia fruit, and it is possessed by Big Mom. She has two buddies, and I can show you them in just a second by activating the first move. Two buddies will appear. These are Zeus and Prometheus. Although in this game they're called Ra and Raijin, I guess. It's not really indicated, but we get the hint, seeing as one is the god of the sun, and the other is the god of lightning in different mythologies. So, the Soul Fruit costs 3.4 million in the store. It is one of the most expensive fruits in the game. It's, I believe, the second most expensive, behind the dragon, and it's kind of worth its price. It is pretty OP. As you can see, it has a soul bar, a soul meter of sorts. Now, these are two completely different things. The soul meter is every time you use the Soul Snatcher ability on an enemy, it will increase that. And by clicking, you can summon buddies, as they're called, which are basically just little helpers to help you fight battles. So as you can see, it went up by 1, and then I can just summon, well, it's a 1 in 3 chance, depending on what you get. And so that guy will temporarily immobilize your enemy. It's pretty useful. He's actually one of the better ones, in my opinion, as he also does damage on top of that, and he has several uses. The second ability, because this fruit is quite a special one, not only because it has souls in it, but it also has the bar here. This bar is very important for the 3 final abilities, these 3. The Wrath of Ra decreases the bar, it goes towards the left, and the Outraged Raijin makes it go to the right. Now, this bar is basically the Calm and Fury meter. The further to the left, the calmer. Further to the right, the more angry, I guess. The thing is, they are kind of special, as not only is this a visual change, but it also dictates the power of the End of Times ability. Now, I haven't fully tested it myself because I recently got it, but it doesn't really matter as I've not been able to prove it with several uses. Supposedly, the further to the left, the more it stuns the enemy. Wait, no. I think it's further to the right, but either way, on one side it stuns the enemy more, on the other side it makes it do more damage, but according to the wiki, based on which side it's on, it deals more damage. And if it's at max on one side, because it has 2 stages, it has middle and then fully. Make sure, Wrath of Ra, boom, left, I did say. Basically, they become more passive, which, honestly, the sun looks more aggressive than anything. How did he... that. But if you put it up another stage, it'll reach the end. And supposedly, in this state, the Sky Rule, or no, not Sky Rule, the End of Times ability will do a lot more damage. Well, maybe not a lot more, but significantly more damage, or noticeably. The Wrath of Ra, of course, is an AoE attack that explodes into several other smaller things that will do damage if it hits the enemy. And it shoots the enemy in the air. As you can see, they got shot up and they got set on fire. That's a pretty useful ability as it does a lot of damage because of it. He almost died. He's lucky. The other guys got lowered a lot more than he did. Now, another thing is the Outraged Raijin. You see, the Outraged Raijin is kind of a move-based ability, kind of like the Soul Snatcher, because the Soul Snatcher, it moves you, it's not significant. But the Outraged Raijin is actually a teleport ability, and it's got a little more range. It also does stun. It stuns them for like half a second, 1 second, and it is pretty useful. Now, Outraged Raijin, of course, moves it to the right, like I said. Other than its stun and its teleporting, it's not really that useful. It does less damage than Wrath of Ra. But, of course, for combos, it's incredibly useful. This thing has a very overpowered 3-part combo. You start off with Soul Snatcher, because as you can see, it actually brings them to the center. it kind of reels them in using AoE. And then you just chuck one of those, and if they didn't die, which I'll show you on a boss later, because I have upgraded my demonstrations and I'll show you on a boss. Jeremy should have spawned by now. I'll show you the 3-part combo. It's very overpowered on a player, as it should close to, if not fully one-shot a player. And usually if it doesn't one-shot them immediately, it'll kill them with fire. Or you can just finish them off with an edit time. Something to note about the Soul Snatcher is that it is very overpowered, because it does a fair bit of damage, but it also has quite a bit of range. I would consider it a long-range move, almost. I'd say it's actually more like a mid-range, but that's because it's a movement-based ability and it has a large AoE. It's almost impossible to miss this attack. If you somehow miss it in a ground PvP fight, you're doing something wrong. Especially in PvE, it's very easy. It's probably not made for PvE, although with its ability to bring in an enemy to a certain spot as well as stun them, I would consider it a PvP style fruit. Unlike something like Buddha. Also, Sky Ruler, which if you couldn't tell by the name, makes you fly. It's a rather quick flight move. I think it's even faster than the Flame Fruit's flight. I have not verified this, but I can quickly verify that. In fact, you know what, I'll add it in the editing. I will tell you what it's quicker than, but it's just a basic flight move. Although, from what I have seen, if you activate Fury mode, it's a visual change, but it'll make you fly on top of the, what is Prometheus, and technically Ra in-game. It'll make you fly on top of him instead, which is just interesting, I guess. You can see yeah, kind of, I guess it's slightly more aggressive in that form. He looks like Nightmare Fuel in his raged form. Hold up. Yeah, straight up Nightmare Fuel. Look at him. Okay, he's definitely more angry in this form, but look at that. Look at that man's eyes. Also, he just looks beefy. He just got thick. But, supposedly, oh yeah, you fly on top of the ball this time. The sun ball. Well, that's an interesting visual effect. Anyway. That didn't even work. Great. It's very good in PvP. I'll give it that. Of course, you'll be able to see all of its stats like I most likely put in text and editing. You'll be able to see all of the different stats that I put up. I've made for the previous 2 videos, but I never mentioned it inside of the videos. There is a stat sheet at the end of every video, which is basically all of the different things put on an image for a few seconds, so you can just pause the video and look at it. It's just written like, it's good in PvP, bad in PvE, overall, and then it's all of the reasons why, and they're even color-coded based on how good they are. Well, this took a lot of effort to make, the different stat sheets, at least the second one, because the first one was a bit rushed. I'm trying to improve the quality of these videos, because they're not extremely good. But anyway, enough ranting, because that's going to make this video last a lot longer than it should. The End of Time's ability, being its final ability, is quite the interesting one. Of course, there's the soul mechanic, but it also, look at that, very powerful ability. Just in its first part of the ability, also, it's actually got a quick cooldown overall. Just in the first part of its ability, it did 2/3 of their health. Second part's more powerful than the first, so it's way more powerful than any of the other 3. The unique thing about it, other than the soul changing, that doesn't actually have a visual change, so that's why I was curious about it. Apparently it stuns them for quite some time. Like, not only when you're doing the true beams themselves like that, it stuns them, they can't do anything, and after the explosion they still can't do anything. Like, they're stunned. Which is incredibly overpowered, as I found it to be basically a one-hit move in PvP. Although I was up against people with less than 10,000 total health. In fact, probably less than 5,000, because they were like level 800-900. It was basically some magma guy who was trying to attack me, so I just killed him. The only annoying part about this fruit is the incredible amount of time it takes to master. Because not only does it have, like, pretty good moves, but it's overall a very diverse fruit. It's got AoE, 2 movement abilities, all of them have AoE, 2 movement abilities, a flame ability, and 2 that stun. It's very overpowered. Also, that's flight. That's not something you get with every fruit. Although, later game, that's basically a primary ability. All of them have it, except Shadow, I believe. But speaking of Shadow, fun fact, I got a Shadow fruit from Random Fruit just before this video. Light flex. This fruit is not, like, a very long fruit. It doesn't have an awakening or anything. So that's gonna be about it. I hope you enjoyed this review. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and tell me what you think. Bye. Right, so as promised, I will be showing you the 3-point combo, of course with end of times that can come in last if you ever want to. Let me show you some. And there goes half his health. And keep in mind, bosses have a lot more health than players in the second sea. Like, twice as much. So, normally, this should be able to kill him. Just that 3-point combo can always kill something. If it's a regular mob or a player, it will almost always. They'll just be dead. That's about it. I hope you enjoy, and here's the stats menu.